Good evening, one and all. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, Sarva Papa Pranashanam, Chinta Shoka Prashamanam, Ayurvardhanam Uttamam. So I welcome you all to the online live lecture series of Tadvidya Sambhasha. Initially, before starting, I would like to extend my namaskars to my Sadguru and Lord Dhanvantari. I am Dr. Lakshmi Patil, working as Associate Professor and HOD in the Department of Shalakya Tantra, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli. So I just started with this verse, Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, Sarva Papa Pranashanam, Chinta Shoka Prashamanam, Ayurvardhanam Uttamam. This is a verse or the quotation taken from Aditya Hridayam. Okay, Aditya Hridayam was told by Agastya Maharshi to Lord Rama while he was leaving for the battlefield. So this is symbolizing, Aditya Hridayam is symbolizing totally, it is praising Lord Sun. As today is Sunday, it is the day of Sun God. So I thought just we'd pray, we'll offer our prayers to Lord Sun and start with today's discussion. So I'll be speaking as introductory part on the Shalakya Tantra. So what is Shalakya Tantra? Shalakya Tantra is one of the very important branch of Ayurveda. As you know, it is having Ayurveda is having 8 branches, Ashtangas. Okay, and one of the important branch is Shalakya Tantra. Shalakya Tantram nama Urdhva Jatrugatanam Shravana Nayana Vadana Granadi Samshritanam Vyadhinam Upashamanartham. Shalakya Tantra is the Tantra which deals with all the diseases of the Urdhva Jatrugata Bhaga. That is, it is Shravana, ears, Nayana, Vadana. Okay. So, before introducing you to all the parts of the continuing with the disease aspect, I would like to just throw some light on the some part of the Nidana and Samprapti. Then I'll tell you about the Karna Roga Samprapti. Each and everything is very authenticated in our science. So why Shalakya Tantra is called as Shalakya Tantra? Okay, because it is having, it is as you know, it is also called as Uttamanga Chikitsa or Urdhvanga Chikitsa. And it is explained in the Uttara Tantra of Sushruta. Uttara Tantra, you are having Uttara Tantra Varnana. So, Urdhvanga Chikitsa, as you know, or Uttamanga Chikitsa, Shalakya Tantra, it is called as Shalakya because you are using mainly Shalaka. Shalakaya Yat Karma Kriyate Tat Shalakyam. Shalakaya Karma Shalakyam Tat Pradhana Tantram api Shalakyam. So you are using Shalaka. Maybe you are using, so because you are knowing all the parts in the, it may be your nasal orifice or the auditory canal, or you are using some tudicum speculum, or you are using laryngoscope or pharyngoscope. You should have the diagnostic. Shalaka means here you have to understand both diagnostic way and therapeutic way. Okay, diagnostic means you are visualizing some things. You, as you know, you should have examination, clinical examination, after thorough clinical examination only you can use Shalaka in the terms of therapeutic measure. In therapeutic measure, of course, you are using Anjana Shalaka, it may be Danta Shalaka, or it may be Karnavit Shalaka. Okay, but while speaking diagnostically, you are using Shalaka in so many ways. Maybe you are using otoscope, or you are using ophthalmoscope, or you are using tudicum speculum. Okay, simple. Whatever measures you need for the clinical examination purpose, they all have been dealt in Sushruta Samhita, and hence it is called as Shalakya Tantra. The Tantra which is dealing totally with the Shalakas. Number of Shalakas you find as you go on proceeding with the number of diseases. What it may be Netra Rogas or Karna Rogas or Nasa Rogas. You need Shalaka in the while dealing with the Shalakya Tantra. Okay, so now considering the importance of the anatomical sites also, you have to see the importance of Shalakya Tantra. See, Shalakya is not, it cannot be divisible. Shalakya Tantra nowadays, Shalakya part, as you know, Shalakya part 1 deals with Netra Rogas and Shalakya part 2 deals with all the rest of the ENT Rogas, okay, ear, nose or throat, because definitely you are having, as you go on dealing with the Karna Roga rogas or nasa rogas, definitely they are interrelated, and you will be getting the references also, because you are having the same mucosal continuity. Okay, like example, you have when you start studying Dushta Pratishaya, see, all are interrelated. Considering the pandemic outbreak, present scenario, if we consider present pandemic outbreak of COVID-19, so all they are explaining about see the importance of our Shalakya Tantra. The one, hence only it has told that Sarvendriyani enasmin प्राणेन च प्राणेन च संश्रितः तेन तस्योत्तमांगस्य रक्षायाम् आदृतो भवेत्. See, all the vital organs are present in urdhvanga. It is also called as urdhvanga chikitsa or uttamanga chikitsa. So here all the vital organs and the indriyas are present in the shiras, that is urdhvanga, and the indriyas, it may be shravana, it may be nayana, it may be vadana, they all are present in the uttamanga, that is uttamanga, shiras is the uttamanga. Sarvendriyena enasmin pranayena cha samshritah, prana is there. Of course you are having, you should concentrate, these are the dwaras, the shravana, it may be ears, it may be nose, or it may be one of the namadwaras, these all are. Okay, so these are the important outlets which are holding the prana. Of course, pranavayu and udanavayu and vyanavayu, they are having its own importance in the further diseases. Maybe it may be karna roga, or it may be nasa roga, or sometimes in the mukha rogas also. So keeping in mind the importance of this, you have to protect. Hence our acharyas have told thousands of years before that tena tasyottamangasya rakshayam adrito bhavet. Okay, so you have to do the raksha. Once again, at this juncture I request all of you, or this is my appeal to all of you, to stay safe and stay healthy considering the present scenario. Okay, so now considering the importance, you have the importance, this was a short introduction of Shalakya Tantra. Considering the importance of Shravana, because while we are studying the definition of the Shalakya or the Nirukti of the Shalakya Tantra, it is Shalakyam Nama Urdhva Jatrugatanam Shravana Nayana Vadana. See, Shravana is explained first. Though it is told that Sarvendriyanam Nayana Pradhanam, it is told. But see, Shravana, Nayana and Vadana. The importance of Shravana should be there, because it is, of course, it has taken its origin from Akasha. Or Akasha Mahabhuta, Karna has taken its origin. And you know, the Srishti only is taken its origin from Shabda. Okay, so considering the importance of Shravana in mind, I thought let me deal with some of the Karna Rogas. Okay, and before going to Karna Rogas, I shall deal with some of the Nidanas. What are the Karna Roga Nidanas, or what are the etiological factors which are causing the diseases? And to be specific and clinically speaking, you cannot divide whether it is Karna Roga, Nasa Roga. See, all are interrelated. Hence only it is under Shalakya Tantra. Definitely our authors have known the right anatomical sites and anatomical continuities. Keeping all those in view, our acharyas have explained very beautifully about this science. So coming to the Nidana of Karna Rogas. What is the Nidana of Karna Roga? Avashyaya Jalakrida Karna Kandu Yanairmarut Mithya Shastrasya Kupito Anyaischa Kopanaihi Prapya Shrotra Siram कुर्यात् शूलं श्रोतांसि वेगवान् ते वै कर्णगता रोगाः अष्टविंशति रीरितः. As you know, according to Sushruta Acharya, they are 28 in number. So what is Avashyaya Jalakrida Karnakandu Yenermarut? He is explaining all the etiological factors. See the things what are presently told now in this COVID-19 outbreak. You are having Avashyaya, wandering in a cool exposure, exposing yourself to the cool wind, or it may be fog, or Shitavata, Avashyaya, Jalakrida. Jalakrida means it is water entry into your ears. Okay, entry of water, it may be taking head bath, or while taking head bath the water is entering into the ears, or during swimming you are having jalakrida, in whatever form jalakrida, avashyaya jalakrida karnakandu yanair marut. Later on I am dealing with karna kandu. So today I will be dealing in short about karna pratinaha. So what, why karna pratinaha? It is naha. Later on I will tell you. Karna kandu, see, scratching your ears. So why frequent fingering of the ears, what it may cause, and what are the pathological changes expected when a patient or when a person frequently scratches the ear. That has also been considered as one of the nidana by our acharyas. Okay, karna kandu yaner manut mithya yogena shastrasya mithya yogena shastrasya means it may be matchstick, or it may be any pins and all. Okay, using pins and all in the and frequently instilling them in the ear canal, it may lead to so many ear diseases. This is the mode of the spread also, how Acharya Sushruta is explaining. Next, what Acharya Vagbhata tells, so the same nidana he is also explaining, but he is explaining as pratishyaya jalakrida. Instead of avashyaya, he has quoted as pratishyaya jalakrida karnakandu yanair marut, and instead of mithya yogena shastrasya, he is telling mithya yogena shabdasya. Okay, so one important thing to be considered by Acharya Vagbhata is pratishyaya instead of avashyaya. See, pratishyaya, how important is pratishyaya, what we are seeing in the present scenario. The pratishyaya, it leads to so many disorders. As we have Prayana survey, as we have importance of abhishyanda in netra rogas. Okay, Prayana survey nayanamayastu bhavanti abhishyanda nimitta moolaha. Like similarly, you are having the importance of pratishyaya in the karna, nasa and kantharogas or mukharogas. See, pratishyaya, once the patient comes to you with history of pratishyaya, maybe in the various forms you get pratishyaya, it is clearly dealt in the nasa rogas. It may be the avastha you have to clarify. Pratishyaya, it leads to so many, it can lead to so many complications. It may be considered a simple rhinitis, or it may be associated with sinusitis. Sometimes it is presenting as rhinosinusitis, or sometimes it is rhinosinopharyngitis, or sometimes, okay, in certain viral conditions you get pharyngoconjunctivitis. So seeing this, how pratishyaya is affecting all the parts, it is affecting your ears, it is affecting your throat, it is affecting your head, and it is affecting your eyes, and already you know that it is affecting your nasa as well as kantha pradesh. So keeping this in view, our acharyas must have told the importance of pratishyaya. Pratishyaya, jalakrida, karnakandu, yanirmritu. The rest of all are same. It is jalakrida, karnakandu, rest of all. Mithya yogena shabdasya they are telling. See, there he is telling mithya yogena shastrasya. Here Acharya Vagbhata is explained mithya yogena shabda. So how mithya yoga? Maybe you are getting exposed to the loud sounds. That is how your ears are getting affected. So primarily Vata is the one which is being vitiated. Later on you are having the changes, but primarily speaking Vata is the one which is doing all the things. Okay, and continuing with the nidana and samprapti. Okay, so now coming to the Samanya Chikitsa, what Acharyas have explained regarding Samanya Chikitsa. Now we have a brief idea about Samanya Nidana. So presently we have to, not only presently, every time we have to avoid these Nidanas. See, clinically when a patient enters into your OPDs, what we expect? We expect maybe the patient is suffering from only rhinitis, simple. He will tell, okay, we are having, I am having since 2 or 3 days, or since a week, or since 15 to 20 days. Very easily, taking it as a very easy, the patient is going to tell. But it is our duty as we being the doctors to educate the patient in terms of Ayurveda. It is not only taking the complaints. Okay, he is presenting the complaints. It is our duty to dig the proper history from the patient, and you have to diagnose the things properly. Sometimes the presentation may differ, and we may misdiagnose the things sometimes. Okay, but when we take the correct history from the patient, when we extract the correct history from the patient, and then we come to, Okay, provisional diagnosis is okay, but while coming to the final diagnosis, we have to be very, very careful so that we are not harming the patient, and we are also knowing about the patient. For that, it requires much time. Okay, clinical examination is very important thing. So when we deal with the examination, then a proper examination, then only we are coming to some final conclusion, and better we can diagnose the things. And accordingly, once we are up to date with the final diagnosis, then only we can come to the proper treatment. Okay, now coming to the सामान्य कर्णरोग चिकित्सा, what acharyas have explained. So you might be knowing संक्षेपतः क्रियायोगो निदान परिवर्जनम वातादीनां प्रतिघातः प्रोक्तो विस्तरतः पुनः. Coming exactly to the karnarogas, samanya karnarogas, that is that is the verse goes like this: samanyam karnarogeshu ghृतपानम rasayanam avyayama ashirasnana brahmacharyam akatanam. So analyzing the first shloka, sankshepatāh kriyayogo nidana parivarjanam. In Sankshepatāh, we should do Nidana Parivarjana. That is what as told by our Acharyas. Nidana Parivarjana is the one that has to be done. Otherwise, so treating the patient simply with all the medicines is not going to work out, frankly speaking. All the Nidana Parivarjanas has to be clearly taught, or clearly they have to be informed to the patients to avoid such diseases. Okay. And vatadina pratighata. See, accordingly later on, once we are avoiding the nidanas, whatever we find, common nidanas, what we find, then clinically, if we go again, it is taking much time to analyze each and every patient. So, example, if we are treating a patient of rhinitis and we have not taken the proper history of the patient, and suppose he is going for a morning walk, early morning walk he is taking daily, and suppose we have missed to ask that question to that patient, that itself is a nidana. And if you are not doing nidana parivarjana, what is the use of treating with so many drugs? That we have to, that already our acharyas have told in our samhitas. Only thing we have to do is to follow it properly. Sankshepatāh kriyayogo nidana parivarjanam vatādinām pratighatah. Later on, once you avoid the nidanas, later on, after identifying the correct doshas involved, later on you can treat it accordingly. Okay. Then coming to the second one, that is the samanya karnaroga chikitsa. Samanyam karnarogeshu ghृतपानम rasayanam avyayama ashirasnana brahmacharyam akatanam. Samanyam karnarogeshu. It is samanyam. Okay, generally speaking, karnarogas, see, karnarogas, ghृतपानam, it is because of vata, as all of us know. It is because of vata. ghृतपानam rasayanam. So, ghृतपाna, that is very, very important. It may be in the form of shamana, or sometimes we may go for shodhana also. ghृतपाna is very, very beneficial in the treatment of karnarogas, keeping in view the vata. Okay. Then ghृतपानam rasayanam. So rasayana, it has to be understood and it has to be taken in a wider way. Rasayana, it is also, some of the acharyas have told, rasashana. Okay, Dhallana comments, it is rasayana is there, and rasashana, that is, it is mamsarasa ashana. Okay. See, rasayana, it is, of course, we know what is the rasayana, but here we have to take our achara rasayana also, because while considering the nidanas, in so many, it may be netraroga nidana, so many nidanas they have explained, our acharyas have explained. See, now considering this period of psychosomatic disorders, okay, psychosomatic disorders, our acharyas have told, our acharyas have expressed all these nidanas before. Even while dealing with the netraroga nidanas, our Sushruta has told chinta, shoka, bhaya, krodha, all these are there. Okay, they definitely they are harming our body balance, definitely they are harming our physique. Okay, so keeping all those in view, rasayana means not only the rasayanas what we are consuming orally, even achara rasayana, because our sattva is very, very important here. See, if we are free from all these chinta, krodha, and all the other manasika udvegas, which are definitely a cause for some disease, it may be, I am not only presently speaking on Shalakya. See, this is, if we are free from all these nidanas, in most of the diseases acharyas have explained about all these manasika udvegas. Okay, definitely will be free, but sattva has to be pravara, not avara. And if our sattva has to be pravara, we have to follow Achara Rasana and Sadvrutta, which is also explained, which is also been explained by our Acharyas. Okay, now considering the Sankhya Samprapti of, this is about Nidana and Chikitsa of Karna Rogas. See, Rasayana is over, Ghrutapana, Rasayanam, Avyayama, Ashirasnana and Brahmacharya. These are the considered to be as Nidanas. Okay, Avyayama, excessive Vyayama is not indicated. Brahmacharya, it has to be followed. So, next moving on to the Sankhya Samprapti of Karna Rogas. This was about the chikitsa of Samanya chikitsa of Karna Rogas. Next, moving to the Sankhya Samprapti of Karna Rogas, we all know that according to Acharya Sushruta, 28 diseases have been mentioned by Sushrutacharya, Karna Rogas, and Charaka is specifying 4 diseases. So let's go with Acharya Sushruta. Karnashula Pranadascha Badhirya Kshvedaivacha Karnasrava Karnakandu Karnavarchas Tathaivacha Krimikirna Pratinaho Vidradi Dvivisasatha Karnapaka Putikarna Tathaivarchas Chaturbudam Karnarbudam Saptavidam Shofaschapi Chaturvidam Ete Karnagataha Rogaha Ashtavimshati Riritaha. See, even while explaining the a series of Karna Rogas, Karnashulam, Pranadascha, Badhirya, Kshvedaivacha. Even while explaining the series of Karna Rogas, our Acharyas have, they are fantastically, they have analyzed, and as we know, the first 4 diseases, we are having common treatment for Karnashula, Pranada, Badhirya and Nada. Why? Because there Vata is playing its major role. Okay, see, it is not that first Acharya Sushruta has explained Vidradi, later on he is explaining Arbuda or Arsha. It is not like that. Initially, when you thoroughly analyze the Sankhya Samprapti of Karna Rogas, initially he is starting with Karnashula. Okay, of course, Karnashula varieties, types of Karnashula has been mentioned by Acharya Vagbhata. But considering Karnashula as the major part of Karna Rogas, he has explained it first. Okay, this is the presenting feature. Pain is the presenting feature of Karnashula. Okay, so Karnashula, Pranada, Badhirya and Kshveda. These are the first 4 diseases where Vata is taking its major role. Then when we go on with the rest of the diseases, Vata, it becomes Vata Kafaja when we come to Badhirya. Okay, then when we come to Kandu, we have Kapha, and later on Pitta comes into action. Then finally we have Tridoshas coming into action when we see rest of the diseases like Karna Arsha, Karna Arbuda, Shofa and all. This is the Sankhya Samprapti, and even in analyzing or even in writing a quotation of Sankhya Samprapti, they are expressing the view of how they are typically arranged. They are not arranged in haphazard manner. They are typically arranged. Okay, so now starting with Karna Pratinaha, as I told you, this was a brief note or a brief introduction of Karna Rogas, which I told you about Nidana, Samprapti, Chikitsa and the Sankhya Samprapti. Okay, now starting with Karna Pratinaha. So what is Karna Pratinaha? Why I opted this topic? As you know, Karna Pratinaha is Naha. What do you mean by Naha? Naha is nothing but obstruction. Okay, you are having obstruction. It is Nasanaha. It may be Karna Pratinaha, obstruction to the site concerned. Like you have Avarodha. Okay, you are having Abhishyanda also. It is also Avarodha. Sroto Avarodha. Sroto Avarodha is the one which is the causative factor for all these diseases. Okay, hence why Naha is important. See, once Naha is there, so many diseases you are expecting. Like presently what we see all are telling not to touch your eyes, not to touch your nose, not to touch your mouth. Then why not ears? Can't virus enter through your ears? Hence only Rakshayam Adrato Bhavet. So COVID virus, what is the nature of the COVID virus? It is of course a new virus. Nobody is knowing what is COVID-19. Studies are going on. All the scientists are working on COVID-19 virus, how it is working. And nobody exactly knows that once it enters into your body, whether it is acting in a similar way with the other viruses, or is it presenting with some different view. Hence, our acharyas must have told that avashya is the first nidana for Karnarogas. And why can't this virus enter your body through your Shravana? Is it not? Because you are having nasal mucosal continuity. So it might enter. Hence, they have asked you to Rakshaya Madrito Bhavet. You have to protect. Now, anyhow, we are wearing masks to protect our nose. Then, who is thinking of protecting the ears? Is it not? We have to think in such way that we have to protect our ears also. Hence, only we are advising our patients, especially the patients of upper respiratory infections, not to get exposed. You should not expose your ears and nose to avashya, that is wind or cold wind, or it may be simple fans or simple AC. When you are getting exposed, you can't predict from where the virus enters. Okay, hence Raksha, you have to protect your eyes, your nose, and your oral cavity, and your eyes also. This is now also it is explained, and now also the doctors are telling the same thing. It has been told thousands of years ago by our acharyas, and here lies the importance of our Shalakya Tantra. Shalakya Tantra is very important. Frankly speaking, you are having Uttamanga. It is Urdhvanga Chikitsa. Once you treat, because so many inlets are there. Okay, you have to protect your inlets. Okay, coming to Karna Pratinaha. Why Karna Pratinaha? There is obstruction. Why there is obstruction? See, there might be some pathology initially also, or the patient might come. See, clinically how it is going to present. Clinically it may present as blockage in the ear, or the patient may come to you as fullness in the ear, or sometimes he may come to you as pain in the ear. Okay, so after you have asked, after you spare some time with the patient, you will come to know, after extracting the proper history, you will come to know what is the presenting feature, whether the patient is having these symptoms, might be blockage in the ear, or fullness of the ear, or severe otalgia in the ear, or sometimes ear discharge, which are of course the clinical features of Karna Pratinaha. Once your diagnosis is final, and once you have asked all the questions related to the symptoms, especially the presenting symptoms and the associated symptoms, you have to assess. Assessment is very, very important. You have to assess whether the patient is allergic, or whether the patient had some severe symptoms, severe symptomatologies before, or the patient has traveled from some other the same history what we are taking right now. These history, these the points whatever we have been advised to take, this is actually our duty that we have to follow every time. Every clinician should follow these points. Like, see, the travel history, now everybody is behind the travel history, then why not we are taking the travel history regularly in every case of our OPD. When a patient enters, see, travel history is very, very important. Might be why I took this Karna Pratinaha is travel history. The patient has traveled from abroad. Suddenly he comes to you that there is pain in the ear, severe pain in the ear. Why? See, that is because of the locking of the eustachian tube. Suppose, what is the importance of middle ear? Middle ear is having so many contents like ear ossicles are there, tendons are there. Main thing is air is present. Positive pressure is there in the middle ear. That has to be regulated, and that regulatory mechanism is done by eustachian tube. Eustachian tube is the one which is very important, and that tube is connecting the nose to your ear. That is also called as pharyngotympanic tube. Okay, and of course the nasal mucosal continuity is the same. The nasal mucosa, the respiratory nasal mucosa, and the sinus mucosa, and the pharyngeal mucosa, and the eustachian tubal mucosa, all are same. So once your tube gets locked, okay, suddenly what happens? There is negative pressure created inside the middle ear. So how the negative pressure is created, later on I will tell you. But presently, Karna Pratinaha, see, very important. Karna Kandu, this what we speak, Karna Kandu, Karna Pratinaha can be understood in many ways. See what Acharyas tell. It is the result or it is the chronicity of Karna Kandu and Karna Gutha both. Okay, what is Karna Kandu? That is itching sensation in the ear. So why you are having itching sensation? They tell because of the Kapha Sanchaya in Karna Srotas, we are having itching sensation in the ears. That is Karna Kandu. And again, if we practice all these nidanas, if we are not avoiding the water entry, and sometimes we are using so many eardrops, knowingly or unknowingly, we are using eardrops, we are moistening the auditory canal. In sometimes this, if this continues, Karna Kandu is there, it is nothing but itching sensation in the ear. Then Karna Kandu, if neglected, it leads to Karna Gutha. So what is Karna Gutha? Vishoshite Shleshmani Pitta Tejasa Nrinam Bhavati Srotasi Karna Gutaka. See what our Acharyas explain is, already whatever the kapha is sanchita in Karnamaha Srotas, Vishoshite Shleshmani. Vishoshite means the kapha sanchaya which has already taken place in the auditory canal, it is getting dried up. Okay, numerous factors are again influencing it. Vishoshite Shleshmani Pitta Tejasa Nranam Bhavati Srotapsi Karna Gutakaha. See what the sanchita kapha which is already present in the Karnamaha Srotas, because of the effect or because of the influence of Pitta Tejas, it is getting dried up. Okay, this is Karna Gutha or Karna Varcha, or what you call is, it is impacted wax. Okay, now Karna Kandu, Karna Gutha and Karna Pratinaha. Karna Pratinaha is the end. Like Karna Kandu, if neglected, it leads to Karna Gutha. Then if Karna Gutha is neglected, it is turning to Karna Pratinaha. So why Karna Pratinaha is, it is, of course it is continuous, it is the effect or the chronicity of both Karna Kandu and Karna Varcha. See, if there is a patient of impacted wax, okay, if the patient is, there is a, on examination we find that there is impacted wax and the patient has taken something, it might be some pin or some stick, and he has kept on scratching his ears. What happens? It definitely it leads to secondary infection, and that secondary infection, if the patient presents with secondary infection, he may start with a discharging ear, and later on he may come to you, and it is your time to diagnose what is it, whether it is Karna Kandu, whether it is Karna Gutha, or whether it is Karna Pratinaha. So these are called as Nidanarthakara Rogas. Karna Kandu, the one disease, if neglected, leading to the other disease, these are called as Nidanarthakara Rogas or Avastha Vishesha Janya Rogas, the one leading to the other disease. Okay, so these have to be considered as the stages of Karna Pratinaha. Then we have to, why you have to consider this? Because it is better to identify and it is better to diagnose the things at the first stage, and you have to properly educate the patient so that the first stage is not neglected and the disease is not going to the second stage, which will definitely help you to cut off the pathology. That is what is explained. Samprapti Vigatanameva Chikitsa. Samprapti Vigatanameva Chikitsa. When it is possible? It is possible when we are taking the clear history of the patient. Then, after taking clear history of the patient, we have to properly examine the things. Examine the auditory canal, examining. It may be a case of ear, but it is our duty to examine all the things. It may be a case of simple ear pain. You have to examine nasal mucosa, you have to check for the turbinates, you have to check for the septum, you have to check for oral mucosa, and you have to check for the tenderness of the sinuses. It is our duty, because when the patient enters your OPD and he is complaining of pain in the ear, the final cause why he is having pain in the ear is not known to us. Okay, so before giving some treatment, before advocating some treatment, it is our duty to for the proper assessment. Okay, so what is Karna Pratinaha? I told you this is the chronicity of Karna Kandu and Karna Gutha. Kafadva, Marutadva, Sannipatena va punaha. Again, Acharya Videha is also explaining it may be due to Kafa, it may be due to Vata, or it may be due to Sannipata. That is how I told till now. See, it may be simply due to what? When only Vata is influencing, it may present in some other manner. Or when only Vata Yukta Kapha is influencing, it may present in some other manner. Or when it is Sannipataja, okay, it is presenting with some other manner. So, treatment, it is not that in Karna Pratinaha we should have all the Lakshanas as told. Okay, so what our Acharyas are telling about Karna Pratinaha? What Acharya Sushruta tells? Sa Karnavitko Dravatam Yada Gato Vilayito Ghranamukam Prapadyate Tada Sa Karna Pratinaha Saudnito Bhaved Vikaraha Shiraso Avitapana Sa Karnavitko Dravatam. See, whatever Kapha Sanchaya is there, later on there is Vishoshite Shleshmani, that is the Sanchita Kapha is getting dried up, and later on what happens? In Karna Pratinaha Sa Karnavitko Dravatam. Yada gato vilayito. Whatever the sanchita kapha is there, it is getting liquefied. It is getting vilayita. And it is coming out through ghrana and mukha. Ghrana mukham prapadyate. Okay, the discharge. Okay, after the vilayana of sanchita kapha in the karna srotas, it is getting discharged through ghrana and mukha. And tada karna pratinaha saudnito bhavet vikaraha shiraso abhitapanaha. Shiraso abhitapana is explaining. Shiraso ardhabedakrit. Why shiraso abhitapana? Sometimes the patient complain to you with a severe headache. And our acharyas also tell that shiraso abhitapana, it is something like the one which is resembling the migraine headache. Okay, shiraso ardhabedakrit. There is tika for that. The patient may present to you with it may be the presenting headache, may be presenting complaint, or headache may be associated symptom. Okay, when there is vilayana of the sanchita kapha, you are getting the discharge from ghrana and mukha. This is what Acharya Sushruta is telling, and what Acharya Vagbhata is telling. See, Vagbhata's view, what he is telling, Vatena shoshita shleshma sroto liptato bhavet rug gaurava pidhanam cha कर्णप्रतिनाह सौंदितः वातेन शोषित. He is not, Acharya Vagbhata has not specifically told about, or he has not specifically mentioned about Karna Gutha or Karna Varcha. Here only in this shloka, Karna Pratinaha, he is explaining both the features, characteristic features of Naha as well as Gutha. What he is telling, Vatena shoshita shleshma sroto liptato bhavet. Vatena shoshita shleshma, the same thing as what Sushruta told. Already there is sanchita kapha and vatena shoshita. The sanchita kapha is getting dried up by vata. Sroto liptato bhavet. This is where this pathology is very important. It is getting the liptata. What is there? Sroto, it is getting avarodha, it is causing avarodha to the srotas. So the liptata, it occurs to the srotas. Sroto liptato bhavet. Then because of that sroto liptata, you are having these features. Ruk gaurava pidhanam cha. Ruk means you are having pain. And you are having gaurava, that is heaviness. The patient will complain to you that fullness is there or heaviness is there in the ear. Ruk gaurava pidhana is nothing but the obstruction itself or the naha, avarodha. Ruk gaurava pidhanam cha sa karna pratinaha saudnita. These are all the symptoms as explained by Acharya Vagbhata. Now how to understand these two shlokas? So because there is vast difference between the two acharyas. He is telling, Sushruta is telling, Ghrana Mukham Prapadyate. Whatever the Sanchita Kapha is there, it is Ghrana Mukham Prapadyate. He is telling, the discharge from the Ghrana and Mukha is telling. Whereas Vagbhata is telling, Ruk Gaurava Pidhanam cha. So because of Srota Avarodha, you are having Ruk Gaurava and Pidhana. So how to understand? Again we have to come back to the concept of Nidhanarthakara Rogas. Okay, initially, you can take these as two stages. Initially speaking, it is the first shloka you consider Vagbhatas, that is Vatena, whatever is present because of the dryness, because of that effect, you are having Ruk Gaurava and Pidhana. And next stage of the pathology, you have to consider Sushruta shloka, that is Sa Karnavitko Dravatam Yadagato Vilayito. See, if that obstruction, whatever is caused, is not relieved, and if the pathology continues, and if the person is not taking care about his diet, and he is not doing Nidana Parivarjana, definitely it is going to land to the second stage. Okay, and once the Pidhana is continuous, okay, it is starting discharging from the Grahana as well as Mukha. Okay, so this is how you have to understand. Again, the chronicity also you have to consider. As you know that Karna Varcha or Karna Guta has not been told by Acharya Vagbhata directly. So here only he is explaining. That is Karna Kandu and Karna Guta. Both, if neglected, they are causing Karna Pratinaha. So here we are coming to that shloka again. Vatena Shoshita Shleshma. Again, if there is some obstruction and if that is not being relieved, definitely it will go to the next stage, whatever Acharya Sushruta has explained. Again, the chronicity of Karna Kandu and Karna Guta you have to take, and lastly it is ending up into Karna Pratinaha. Okay, so definitely the patient is complaining of all the symptoms. Now, how you have to treat Karna Pratinaha? According to our science, Atha Karna Svedo, Atha Karna Pratinaho, Sneha Svedo Prayojayet, Virikta Shirsasya, they are telling. Acharyas are explaining Snehana Svedana again. Sneha Svedo Prayojayet and Virikta Shirsasya Shita Sevina. Okay, see, Virikta Shiro Virechana is important here, and Snehana and Svedana. So, how to do Snehana and Svedana practically? What type of nasya? Shirovirechana is definitely required. See, at a stretch, sometimes we can directly go for nasya. Sometimes, before starting with nasya, we have to orally prescribe some medicines and then go for nasya. That you have to plan, because each patient is different. Okay, and whatever our acharyas have told, we should use our yukti and then we have to implement the things. Atha Karna Pratinaho Sneha Svedo Prayojit. So, what type of Svedana we are doing? There is blockage. Simply speaking, there is some blockage. Maybe Karna or in the Nasa. What Sneha? What type of Svedana? It is very simple. You can advise your patients just to take the fermentation. Thus, you can take Dashamula Kashaya Svedana or Nadi Sveda, whatever has been explained. Because Svedana is very much required in Karnagata Rogas. It may be Snehana or it may be Svedana to relieve that blockage. It is very much required. And now coming to the modern part, how we can understand Karna Pratinaha in terms of modern science? Probably it can be compared to East Asian catarrh. Okay, catarrh means blockage. East Asian catarrh or a tubal blockage. So what is East Asian catarrh? The same thing. Here you are having blockage in the East Asian tube. So what are the causes of blockage in the East Asian tube? As we all know that the East Asian tube starts from the middle ear, anterior wall of the middle ear cavity, then it is ending into pharynx. That is, it is also called as pharyngotympanic tube, and the mucosal continuity is anyhow the same. So, East Asian catarrh means the blockage. Why the blockage is there? Maybe because the patient is already suffering with the upper respiratory infections, or maybe he is a known case of allergy, or he might be a case of DNS or adenoiditis or tonsillitis. Okay, functionally speaking, as all of us know that East Asian tube remains closed. Okay, during rest, it is not always open, and when it gets open, only when we yawn, okay, or when we swallow, it gets open because of the active contraction of the muscle, tensor valley palatini muscle. It is getting open. Okay, so now why there is blockage in the East Asian tube? Maybe the patient is frequent upper respiratory, he is complaining of frequent upper respiratory infections, or he is having a allergic problem, or he is a known case of tonsillitis or adenoiditis. Sometimes there are two main causes of blockage. One is intrinsic blockage and one is the extrinsic blockage. What is intrinsic blockage? Intrinsic blockage means you are having blockage inside the East Asian tube, that is the mucosal congestion. Because of the tubal mucosal congestion, you are having blockage. Okay, congestion means actually you are having edema. The mucosa swells and it becomes edematous, and it is stopping, or it is harming, or it is hampering the normal functions of the East Asian tube. As you all know that what are the normal functions of the East Asian tube? Mainly it is regulating the pressure. It is maintaining the pressure between the middle ear and the pharynx and with the external atmosphere also. So once there is blockage, if there is intrinsic blockage because of the intrinsic mucosal congestion, if he is a known case of rhinitis or if he is a known case of sinusitis or rhinosinusitis, if he is already suffering from pharyngitis, definitely there will be intrinsic mucosal tubal mucosal blockage. Or if there is some growth which is pressurizing or which is giving pressure externally to the eustachian tube, maybe it is adenoids or it may be it may be tonsils. There might be nasopharyngeal tonsils, sometimes palatine tonsils, or some growths, some malignant growths or benign growths. If they are giving pressure to the eustachian tube, what may happen? It is they are closing the lumen. It becomes narrow. The lumen of the eustachian tube is blocked. Or sometimes, apart from this intrinsic and extrinsic tubal blockage, there might be functional dysfunction. Functional dysfunction with the opening of the eustachian tube because of some problem in the tensor valvulopalatini muscle. That is, these are the causes of eustachian tube blockages. Now, what happens once the tube get blocked? Okay, once there is avarodha or once there is naha, let's see what happens. See, you know that there is presence of air in the middle ear cavity. So once the tube gets blocked, it waits for some time. Okay, the pressure will be relieved and everything will be as usual, as before. So the pressure is not being relieved and the blockage is increasing. So what happens? Ultimately, whatever the air is there inside the middle ear cavity, it is getting absorbed. Number of gases are present. Okay, carbon dioxide is there, oxygen is there, nitrogen is there. Initially, the oxygen, it is getting absorbed, and this, much of the other of the gases, they are getting diffused into the bloodstream, and instead of positive pressure, vacuum is being created in the middle ear cavity. Once there is vacuum created in the middle ear cavity, what happens? The patient is experiencing severe pain. Okay, vacuum is there. Because of the vacuum, what happens? There is retraction of the tympanic membrane. Why there is retraction? As you know, the boundaries, the tympanic membrane forms the lateral wall of the middle ear cavity. So once there is, it is a matchbox like structure. Your middle ear is like a matchbox like structure. It is having various things inside it, and it is connected to numerous anatomical continuities. See, you have to be very, very careful with the middle ear, because posteriorly it is communicating with the mastoid. Anteriorly it is communicating to your to your pharynx through the eustachian tube, and superiorly it is directly communicating to the cranial fossa. Okay, inferiorly also it is having its own connections. So middle ear cavity is the one which is communicating to almost all the parts of your head. So you have to be very careful. Rakshayam adrato bhavet. Again, you have to analyze these things like this. Okay. See, once there is blockage, there is the presence of negative pressure in the middle ear cavity, and once there is negative pressure in the middle ear cavity, what happens? The tympanic membrane is getting like it is becoming tensed, and it is like pulled, like, okay, it is becoming retracted. Even though after retraction of tympanic membrane, during that retraction, if you go for the otoscopic examination, what will you find? You will have that congestion and all along the pars tensa or the handle of the malleus. Congestion is there. Okay, that time the patient will be experiencing severe otalgia will be there. And if at all that during that stage the pressure is not relieved, what happens? Again, it gets ruptured. Perforation occurs in the tympanic membrane. Once the perforation occurs in the tympanic membrane, later on it starts discharging. This is when the patient presents with the ear discharge. So this is how we are going to analyze all the symptomatologies of eustachian catarrh. You are having hearing loss also. Why? Because the duration is more, and because of the chronicity, there might be presence of some effusion or middle ear effusion, some middle ear collections or secretions might be collected in the middle ear, and they may become infected also. Toxins may be there, so they may reach anywhere, they may reach it reaches to Eustachian tube, it comes to the pharynx. If it reaches, see, if at all the negative pressure is not relieved, so we have to take care. Svedana is the one which is again going to help you. If you advise a patient to do fomentation, okay, fomentation will definitely help the patient, at least when if he cannot come to clinic, let him do fomentation with Dashmoolar at his home only. You can advise the same thing. It will help to relieve the blockage. And one more concept we have to remember, Nasahi Shirasodwaram. So here, even with respect to modern science, they are while explaining the treatment of the Eustachian catarrh, they are not advocating eardrops. In fact, they are advising you nasal drops. Why nasal drops? That too, decongestant nasal drops are required. Decongestion is the one which is very very important. Nasahi Shirasodwaram. We have to, you know that already there is congestion in the nasal mucosa. The congestion you have to relieve. That is our part, what we are doing. And so many other tests are also there. Like Valsalva manor is one of the very important tests which can be done and which can be practiced by patients. But indications are there and contraindications also we have to take care. Valsalva manor, it is definitely a therapeutic test as well as diagnostic test for the patients. It is really helping you out. Okay, practically the patients, some of the patients cannot do it properly, but once if you advise them, once you educate them how to do it properly, it will help for the patient also and it will help for the doctor also, so that the pathological process whatever is occurring will not be continued. Okay, now, so after relieving, even after using the nasal drops, it is not getting relieved. Even after, sometimes you may need systemic antibiotics once there is presence of some infection. I am speaking with that with respect to Eustachian catarrh. You may need some antibiotics or decongestants. Sometimes what the treatment aspect is mentioned is later on we have to have surgical intervention, that is puncture we have to do. So this is how we have to try to correlate, or rather than correlating, we have to understand these pathologies as well as the nidanas, whatever I have told, the etiological factors and the clinical symptoms. Once we try to correlate, it is definitely getting us the fantastic results. So Karna Pratinaha, it is having its own effect. It is affecting on the nasa also. It is having its effect on the oral mucosa also. Hence, I thought that I could continue keeping in view about the concept of blockage. So that is what we have to treat, blockage. Avarodha we have to treat. Sroto rodha. Sroto shodhana is that which is required. And even while practicing this kriya kalpas are going to help you. Definitely simple kavala or simple gandusha, simple practicing of pratimarshanasya, it is simple practicing of kavala with simple haridra or dashamula or trifala. If nothing is there, you can use simple saline water for gargle. That is definitely having decongestion action. It may, if daily, if you are in the practice of doing gargling with the saline water, it is not letting your mucosa change. It is not letting your mucosa to have the pH imbalances. So definitely we can avoid the pathologies. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share about the Karna Pratinaha concept, because it is one disease which is definitely providing us the varieties of things. It is throwing light on Nasa Rogas also, it is throwing light on Pratishaya also, and it is even telling us how to revert back from the pathologies. I was speaking about travel history, aero-otitis media, or it is also called as otitic barotrauma. Definitely again that is occurring because of the blockage in the Eustachian tube. Once there is blockage, and once the blockage in the Eustachian tube continues, the patient comes to you in what stage. That is the important point what we have to analyze in this karna pratinaha. So keeping this karna pratinaha in mind, in further lectures I'll be throwing light on all the some of the rasagata rogas, and how to try to interlink between these things. And it is not that whatever nidanas our acharyas have explained with respect to karna rogas, they are not helpful, or they are not indicated with respect to other rogas also. In fact, all these nidanas have to be avoided, then only we can have a proper healthy lifestyle. Okay, with this I would like to conclude. I would like to thank all the organizers for providing me an opportunity. Okay, thank you.